Today we are looking at the 20 best devil fruits in One Piece. Now this is just my opinion and obviously a lot can change as the series continues. We might find out more information about the existing devil fruits, or maybe more devil fruits will be introduced that are even stronger than the fruits that we know right now. For the purposes of this video, I'll be leaving off Luffy's devil fruit, as I'm sure there will be more information that will continue to come out, and I don't really think it's fair to place this on the list at this current time. Now let's go ahead and jump into the ranking. Coming in at the 20th spot is an extremely well-known fruit, the Chop Chop fruit, a Paramecia type devil fruit that allows the user to split its own body into pieces and to control said pieces however they wish, as well as making the user immune to slashing attacks, making them a splitting human. The fruit's main strength is that it allows the user to become permanently immune to damage from being cut or pierced. Although the fruit doesn't give you an insane power-up like some of the more destructive fruits on this list, it does provide you with good defense, and if you're adept in using the fruit, you can be extremely creative with your attacks. It just doesn't have enough offensive power to really rank higher in my opinion. At the 19th spot, we've got the Flame fruit. This devil fruit is a Logia type devil fruit that allows the user to create, control, and transform into fire at will. With this in mind, the user can create devastating fire-based attacks and has a high resistance towards most heat-based attacks. The flames can also be used to increase the force of their physical attacks, and by turning into fire, the user is capable of letting enemy attacks harmlessly pass through their entire body. Or if they want to avoid the attack, they can quickly turn into a stream of flames and move out of the way. Igniting oneself has the added effect of burning and potentially causing physical harm to their opponent. With that being said, this fruit provides an immediate buff to the user's offensive and defensive capabilities. And it's only because we don't really get to see this fruit's true strength, at least as of right now, that it finds itself in the 19th rank in my opinion. Coming in at the 18th spot, we've got the Gas fruit, which is a Logia type devil fruit that allows the user to create, manipulate, and transform into gas at will. The ability to control gas at will is incredibly dangerous if it's in the right hands. The fruit has a steep learning curve to fully understand how to use it, and seems to require some intelligence to fully utilize the power. Additionally, the user has the power to manipulate other pre-existing gases in any given location and suffocate their opponents by removing oxygen in the area. This gives the fruit's user the option to instantly defeat their opponent. Outside of its combat ability, the user is also able to fly, which is a huge bonus and allows them to move around quickly. This is a huge benefit considering that you give up your ability to swim when you eat a devil fruit. In the 17th spot, we have the Barrier fruit, a Paramecia type devil fruit that allows the user to generate barriers on command, making them a barrier human. The fruit has one of the strongest defensive abilities on this list, but leaves something to be desired on the offensive end. But since this fruit is so strong on defense, let's focus on that. The barriers were strong enough to withstand Doflamingo's strings, and the fruit's previous user was able to utilize barriers to deflect attacks from Oden himself. And let's not forget how strong Oden was. I mean, the man was able to even hurt Kaido himself. It's also worth noting that this devil fruit can be used outside of combat to build things, or even as a source of movement as seen in the Dressrosa arc when they use barriers to build a staircase. And actually that brings us to our next fruit, which is the Subscribe fruit, which is a fruit that we all possess, and some of us are just not utilizing it to its fullest potential. So if you'd like to utilize your true ability, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. But in all seriousness, the 16th spot might seem a little odd, but due to the potential of this fruit and how truly powerful the devil fruit user was, this fruit earned itself the 16th spot. And that fruit is the Mochi fruit. It's a special Paramecia type devil fruit that allows the user to create, control, and transform into mochi. The user is given the ability to turn any part of their body into mochi and manipulate it as they please. Additionally, due to its compatibility with Haki, the mochi can be transformed into a massive variety of shapes and weapons. Now I'm sure most of you would think that a fruit based on mochi wouldn't be that powerful, but Katakuri proved everyone wrong and showed us just how powerful his fruit is. The 15th spot is reserved for the devil fruit that belongs to the former fleet admiral of the navy, the human fruit model Buddha. This is a mythical Zoan type devil fruit that allows the user to transform into a giant gold Buddha. This devil fruit allows the user to gain an extreme boost in strength as well as increase its size. The power of this devil fruit is pretty obvious, and it did after all assist Sengoku in his rise to becoming fleet admiral of the Marines. Now this next fruit is something that I personally think I would choose if I had the option to pick this devil fruit. The 14th spot in our rankings is a Paramecia type devil fruit known as the Press fruit. This fruit allows the user to create and manipulate gravitational forces. The devil fruit's user is able to move around living things and objects with little effort, and this ability can be used in countless different ways. That's why I personally think that I would choose this devil fruit given the choice. Being able to control gravity is just too powerful, and I think I could have a lot of fun with this ability. In the 13th spot, we have the mythical Zoan type devil fruit, the fish fruit model Azure Dragon. This devil fruit allows the user to transform into a hybrid and full version of the Azure Dragon at will. The fruit is currently being used by Kaido and can produce wind, fire, and lightning with its powers, but the biggest asset of this devil fruit is its incredible durability. You see, Kaido's skin or scales cannot be pierced by regular attacks. Even advanced armament Haki isn't enough to damage him. When mastered, this devil fruit provides an incredible boost to both offense and defense. I mean, just look at Kaido and how strong he is. Now this next fruit was a surprise to me. In the 12th spot, we've got the Mag fruit, which is a Logia type devil fruit that allows the user to create, control, and transform into magma at will, turning the user into a magma human. The destructive heat and explosive powers from the magma allows Akainu to destroy pretty much anything and everything in its path. In fact, Oda and crew have made it pretty clear that Akainu's devil fruit has the highest offensive power out of any devil fruit. That being said, the fruit is so destructive that it'd be hard to actually use it in battle. That is, if you cared even just a little bit about the lives of the people around you, which is why it's a perfect fit for someone like Akainu who is willing to attack even his own subordinates if they question him. Given the fact that most people have some sort of a conscience, I had to keep this fruit outside of the top 10 because it's just too hard to use outside of combat unless you're willing to kill the people around you. Coming in right outside of the top 10, we have the string fruit, a Parmesia type devil fruit that allows the user to create and manipulate strings, making the user a string human. The user is able to attach strings seemingly to any surface from any part of the user's own body, though it's mostly seen being used from the palms and fingertips. The user is able to use the strings in any way they please, such as manipulating people's movements in a similar way to a puppeteer controls puppets. I truly believe that Doflamingo's fruit is insanely strong, but was given to any random person, I feel like it would not be nearly as powerful in somebody else's hands. Doflamingo is extremely smart and calculated, which allows him to truly utilize this devil fruit. On top of that, he has a huge source of motivation in that he's constantly wanting to get revenge against all the people and organizations that have wronged him throughout his life. If this fruit was given to someone that was less motivated or even less insane, they probably would not be able to do as much damage as Doflamingo did. In addition to that, they wouldn't be as much of a threat because Doflamingo is just willing to kill anyone that gets in his way, or potentially control them for the rest of their lives. It's only because Doflamingo is willing to become a puppet master and use the strings to kill anyone that gets in his way that he's truly as big of a threat as he is. In the 10th spot, we have the Ice fruit. It's a Logia type devil fruit that allows the user to create, control, and transform into ice at will, turning them into a freezing human. It was eaten by Admiral Kuzan and is seen multiple times throughout the series. The user can instantly freeze anything that comes into contact with them, whether the user grabs the foe or the foe makes contact with the user's body. If the frozen area is not treated properly and immediately, then the user might suffer permanent damage due to frostbite. Most of this devil fruit's attacks require the user to be in physical contact with the enemy directly to freeze them, yet Kuzan's found ways to extend his combat range by creating ice weapons. One overlooked perk of this devil fruit is that you don't really need to worry about drowning, as you can simply freeze the water and create a surface to stand on, thus preventing sinking and drowning. In addition to that, after losing his leg, Kuzan was able to use his fruit's abilities to create a prosthetic leg out of ice. Despite the fact that Kuzan lost his battle to Akainu, I still have this fruit ranking higher than Akainu's Mag fruit. This fruit is just better overall and has a lot more purposes other than pure destruction. Now number 9 is one that I figured would rank a lot higher, but it does have some pretty big drawbacks. Number 9 is the Havi no Mi, a Parmesia type devil fruit that allows the user to transform living people into toys and erase memories of their existence from others. It has a secondary side effect of granting eternal youth to the devil fruit user. It was eaten by Sugar, who's a member of the Don Quixote Pirates. The main strength of this fruit is that it allows the user to transform other people or animals into toys by touching them. Upon transforming a person into a toy, the user can create a contract with the victim. This contract forces them to follow every order given, even if it's against their will. The scariest part about this fruit's ability is that once the individual becomes a toy, any and all memory of that person's existence will be erased. No matter how famous the victim was or how close they were to others, the victim will be completely forgotten by everyone. The biggest weakness of this fruit is that if the user is killed or knocked out, they will immediately lose control of all the toys that they had created. Another possible side effect and weakness of this fruit is that the aging process for the user stops the moment the fruit is consumed. So if the fruit is consumed at a young age, the user will be stuck in this body for life. The current user Sugar is consistently underestimated due to her stature despite being an adult in terms of mental age. Personally, I think it'd be a lot better for the devil fruit user if they were able to make it to their 20s and truly be able to use their body to its full potential. Moving on to the 8th spot on our list, we've got the Paw fruit. This fruit is a Parmesia type devil fruit that bestows the user the ability to repel everything they touch, and is physically represented by paws on the user's palms, making the user a paw-palmed human. The fruit's user is Kuma, who we've seen use the fruit multiple times throughout the series. Kuma is able to weaponize air like bullets and even transport himself and others at light speeds. An example of this was right before the time skip when he sent each of the Straw Hats on their way by transporting them to safety. One of the most shocking uses of the power is when Kuma grabbed and compressed a large section of air, creating a powerful bomb to take down Oris Jr. And don't think I forgot about the whole situation where nothing happened between Kuma and Zoro, but there's nothing really to talk about since nothing happened. Coming in at the number 7 spot is the Parmesia type devil fruit, the Soul fruit. This devil fruit allows the user to interact with and manipulate human souls. The ability currently belongs to Big Mom, who has taken full advantage of her devil fruit's abilities and used it to help her build her own empire. She even uses pieces of her own soul to create the living embodiment of fire and weather. The biggest weakness of the devil fruit is that Big Mom has to remain relatively focused while using her power to maintain complete control over her army, and that in order to extract souls and steal the opponent's life, the opponent needs to actually fear fear you. This can be a pretty big challenge when you are fighting top level pirates who are usually overconfident or extremely well versed in combat. It's going to be pretty hard to scare other pirates like Blackbeard, Kaido, Luffy, or Shanks. It's just going to be hard to actually get them to fear you when you're as confident as them. It puts you at a disadvantage when you incorporate it into your fighting style and you have to face top level opponents like them. With the number 6 mod, we have the mythical Zoan type devil fruit known as the Bird fruit model Phoenix, which gives the power to transform into a phoenix at will. This fruit was eaten by Marco, the former 1st Division commander of the Whitebeard Pirates. While using the fruit's abilities to morph into a phoenix or phoenix human hybrid, the user can fly at great speeds. The set of sharp talons that appear on the user provides a great boost in damage when you're kicking someone, and on top of that, the wings can be used to restrain an opponent. This fruit is great for both offense and defense and makes it a great asset to a crew. In addition to all that, I haven't even mentioned that the fruit has regenerative powers. Instead of causing burns, the Phoenix Flames have immense healing properties. On top of self-healing, the Phoenix Flames can even be applied to other people. This fruit is incredibly useful, and it's clear how this fruit helped Marco become the 1st Division commander of the Whitebeard Pirates. The 5th spot in our rankings is actually going to go to the Dark fruit, which is a Logia-type devil fruit that allows the user to create and control darkness at will, making the user a darkness human. It was eaten by Blackbeard, who stole it from Commander Thatch of the Whitebeard Pirates' 4th Division after murdering him. The fruit is considered unique for a Logia type, and the ability that it grants is said to be the most evil of all the devil fruits. We've gotten to see this fruit in action a couple times now in the series, but my favorite instance of its power is relatively early on in the series during the fight between Ace and Blackbeard, which is still one of my favorite fights in One Piece. Maybe it's just me, but the fight really stuck out to me when I was first watching the show. This fight showed us just how powerful Blackbeard was and that he was going to be a major villain in the series. In the 4th spot, we have the Rumble fruit. This fruit being on top of the Dark fruit truly shows us that lightning and light will find a way to shine through even in the darkest of situations. The Rumble fruit is a Logia type devil fruit that grants the power to create, control, and transform into lightning at will, making the user a lightning human. According to Robin, it's one of the few powers touted as invincible throughout the series. And while I do believe that this fruit truly seemed unstoppable when it first made its appearance early on in the series, it's just that I don't think that Enel truly had the motivation early on in the series to truly master it, and the fact that Haki's been added to One Piece, it makes it hard to argue that this fruit should be higher up. The idea that you're able to control and even become lightning is an insane power, and the fact that this is 4th on our list shows that this fruit is actually really strong. It's just that I don't think it's better than what's above it, and the fact that Enel is really unmotivated early on in the series just makes me feel like this fruit just isn't as strong as other fruits that we're able to see more often in the show. There's just no way someone like Enel will ever be able to master this power. He's just too lazy, and that's why I have this fruit down in the 4th spot and not higher up. It's not just because of Enel, it's just the fact in my mind we'll never actually get to see this fruit to its full potential. Now that brings us to the bronze medal winner in our rankings, and we have the Glint fruit. It's a Logia type devil fruit that allows the user to create, control, and transform into light at will, turning the user into a light human. It enables the user to move at the speed of light and transport themselves by means of reflection. It was eaten by Admiral Kizaru. This fruit grants the speed of light to Kizaru and makes him a fearsome opponent. During the Sabaody Archipelago arc, Kizaru was able to take down 4 supernova captains and even clash with Rayleigh on equal footing thanks to his devil fruit. Now I'm sure this wasn't just only Kizaru's devil fruit. I'm sure he'd be truly powerful without his devil fruit's abilities, but the additional benefits are a huge reason why he's so powerful. And it's because of Kizaru and his ability to truly use the Glint fruit that I think it's better than the Rumble fruit. That being said, let's move on to our 2nd place and silver winning devil fruit, the Tremor fruit. The Tremor fruit is a Parmesia type devil fruit that allows the user to create vibrations or quakes, making them a tremor human, not to be confused with a tremoring human. Now the fruit was originally eaten by Whitebeard, but upon his death, the devil fruit's powers were stolen by Blackbeard. The fruit has a reputation of being able to destroy the world and is considered the strongest devil fruit within the Parmesia class. Now maybe I'm just biased because of my respect for Whitebeard and the mountain of a man he was, but this devil fruit genuinely seemed overpowered early on in the series, and even with a hole in his chest, Whitebeard was still a formidable foe. Now Whitebeard's power didn't only come from his devil fruit, but I assume that even in the hands of someone who just ate this fruit, they'd be able to do quite a bit of damage, and that's why I have this fruit so highly ranked. Now I don't think that someone that just ate this fruit would be able to truly use this fruit to its full potential, but I do think that they'd be able to become at least a formidable foe. At least to normal marines and lower caste pirates, they would be scared out of their mind. Now the 1st place spot in the gold medal winning devil fruit is the Op fruit. It is a Parmesia type devil fruit that grants the ability to create a spherical space in which the user can modify the configuration of anything and anyone in a more or less surgical fashion, making the user a free modification human. This devil fruit allows Law to create rooms in which he can manipulate anything, whether it be objects or people, in a way that only a god would be able to. Although this devil fruit does drain a lot of stamina, Law can use it in a variety of ways, ranging from stealing hearts and chopping limbs to switching the personalities and bodies of his opponents. And what's more, this devil fruit can allow the user to teleport within his room. And what's even more interesting interesting is that this devil fruit is able to perform the perennial youth operation, which gives immortality to the one that it's performed on in exchange for the user's life. Now, it's not really beneficial to the user, but it is useful if he wants to serve someone else. This ability earned the devil fruit the title of the ultimate devil fruit and a bounty of over 5 billion berries. And with all that being said, it makes it the most powerful devil fruit in One Piece. Well, that's all the devil fruits we'll be covering in this video. Before you leave the video, make sure to subscribe for more anime related content.